Welcome Star Wars fans to the Hyperspace Database. Jonesy here with today's episode, the Pelta-class Frigate. The Pelta frigate was a versatile capital assault ship manufactured by Kuat Drive Yards prior to the Clone Wars, and had several different variants that were tailored to specific mission types. The Pelta was used all throughout the Clone Wars as a strike frigate, medical ship, and cargo transport. The strike frigate model of the Pelta was the most common combat variant used during the Clone Wars, as it took the unarmed standard model and upgraded it with light turbo lasers, point defense laser cannons, and tractor beam projectors. The medical variant is the model that we see most often in the Clone Wars TV show, as it was modified to act as a mobile med center in order to transport wounded soldiers to other medical stations. It was painted in the standard red and white paint scheme of Republic ships. The transport variant acted as a supply vessel when other ships were tied up performing other missions, and it was used for this purpose in several missions during the Clone Wars. It was painted a standard gray color. There was also a Legends variant of the ship called the Pelta-class Command Cruiser, which was used by the Rebel Alliance during the Galactic Civil War against the Empire. And this variant was featured in an expansion to the tabletop miniatures game Star Wars Armada in the Phoenix Home expansion pack. One interesting feature of the Pelta frigate is that it had a bank of rear engines that were hidden behind its foldable wings, which could be deployed to give the ship an extra edge in speed when it needed it, and could be closed to narrow its profile while in combat. The Rebel Alliance made many of their own modifications to the Pelta, adding a small hangar bay at the rear of the ship which replaced the landing ramp and cargo bay, and this hangar could hold up to 5 A-wing starfighters. The interior of the Pelta housed a variety of facilities, including a mess hall, private cabins with bunks, barracks for transporting troops, and ray shields for extra interior security. These stations could easily be swapped out to accommodate different mission types, which made the interior of the ship look completely different depending on its configuration. The Pelta-class frigate appears early on in the Clone Wars TV show, when an entire convoy was destroyed by the Separatist prototype ion superweapon, the Malevolence. The success of this test led to General Grievous targeting the Haven-class medical station at Khalida Shoals, where thousands of wounded clone troopers were receiving medical attention. The Republic forces theorized that the medical center would be the next likely target, and gave the evacuation order, loading as many Pelta frigates as they could before Grievous could arrive with a Malevolence. This was only partially successful though, as Grievous arrived before the evacuation was complete, and destroyed several of the fleeing Pelta frigates, forcing the Republic to withdraw and rethink their strategy. After a harrowing assault on the ion cannon of the Malevolence, which forced the behemoth ship to retreat, the remaining Pelta frigates returned to the station and transferred their patients back to the medical center. Several Pelta frigates brought much-needed supplies to Senator Bail Organa on the planet Christophsis, though before they could reach the planet, Admiral Trench broke the Republic formation and destroyed one of the frigates. The Pelta was also later used to bring more supplies to the starving Twi'leks on Ryloth during the Separatist invasion, and these supplies reinforced Rebel leader Cham Syndulla as he fought against the Separatist forces. The Pelta frigate TB-73 was dispatched after the Second Battle of Geonosis to reinforce Jedi Master Mace Windu and his wounded troops on Dantooine, with Ahsoka Tano and Barriss Offee tasked alongside Tango Company with picking up supplies from Ord Cestus and delivering them to Master Windu's battle-weary forces. Unbeknownst to the Jedi Padawans, one of the clone troopers in Tango Company had been infected with a Geonosian brain worm and had secretly spread the worms throughout the crew. After these infected clones attacked the Jedi Padawans, which resulted in Barriss Offee getting infected as well, Ahsoka Tano contacted Anakin Skywalker, and was able to learn that the brain worms were weak against the cold. Ahsoka was able to lower the temperature of the ship and disable the worms, and the ship was then quarantined while the Jedi Padawans and clone troopers were rescued, before they all froze to death. Many Pelta frigates were seen in even more missions throughout the Clone Wars, but these popular ships saw service far into the life of the Empire and Rebel Alliance as well. After the Emperor rose to power, many Rebel cells conducted raids against the Imperials, and one modified Pelta frigate was used by Commander Jun Sato as the command center of Phoenix Squadron, dubbed Phoenix Home. This Pelta saw a lot of action against the Empire, and was involved in several missions, including an infiltration mission where it was repainted to look like an Imperial Pelta, and succeeded in stealing many medical supplies from the Imperial Medical Center. As great as the Phoenix Home was for the Rebel Alliance Phoenix Cell, it would sadly meet its end at the hands of none other than Darth Vader, who tracked the Phoenix rebels back to the command ship after the siege of Lothal, where Vader flew circles around the A-Wing fighters and then proceeded to strafe the modified Pelta several times before the command staff of the ship could evacuate to the Ghost, raining destruction on the Phoenix Home with the TIE Advanced X-1's powerful laser cannons. The Pelta-class frigate would be seen in action for numerous years, even beyond the life of the Empire, being a staple of the New Republic, and was used by many different factions in the Free Galaxy, as it was rumored that several Pelta frigates were present at the final Battle of Exegol in the Galaxy Fleet at the end of the Rise of Skywalker, where they banded together to repel the forces of the First Order and Sith Eternal to restore peace and freedom to the galaxy. The Pelta-class frigate was a very dependable ship, and its ability to serve in multiple missions made it an easy choice as a great addition to the Grand Army of the Republic, the Rebel Alliance, and any other faction that could see the incredible value of this multi-role capital ship. Want to know more about great Star Wars topics like this one? Be sure to check out my other videos on the channel, hit those like and subscribe buttons, and the bell to be notified every time I publish something new. Be sure to select all notifications there to never miss an episode that I publish. Be sure to chat with me in the comments too, because I really want to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.